Alex Crook and Anil Condola are going to be with us throughout the afternoon. Crookie has popped in. Good afternoon, Alex. There's plenty of stuff going on.
There is. Doesn't it look great in here?
Does, yeah.
The graphics.
Sensational.
This is quite an exciting deadline day. They're not always, are they? But
No.
It looks like it's really going to be one.
And I think in keeping with the summer, really, there have been so many stories, so many sagas developing. Obviously, a lot of them seem to be coming to the conclusion that I know you predicted, with Isak off to Liverpool and Wissa off to Newcastle in his place, and maybe
Difficult to predict.
maybe Mark Gay to Liverpool. That deal, I think, is in the balance.
Yeah.
But this morning I was being told by sources at Liverpool maybe it wouldn't happen, and now we're hearing that perhaps it could, because Palace are signing Igor on loan from Brighton. Your club, Tottenham, doing a bit of deadline day business. Obviously, Dominic Solanke didn't play at the weekend, and there's fears that he might be out for a few weeks. And it's Kolo Muani, Randall Kolo Muani, French international. We all remember him for missing that one-on-one at the end of the World Cup final.
Yeah.
Well, two players we're talking about on deadline day. Kolo Muani to Spurs on what we're being told is a straight loan, so no option or obligation to make that permanent. And Emi Martinez, the odd man out on this deadline day, didn't play for Villa last night. There was a chance he would go to Manchester United. They're signing Seny Lammers, a young goalkeeper from Belgium, instead. So what do Villa do with Martinez? And they are getting busy, Aston Villa, on deadline day. Jadon Sancho on loan from Manchester United. Looks like it will happen, with them paying 80% of his wages plus bonuses for the rest of the season. And Harvey Elliott potentially as well. The club's still haggling over what the obligation would be in that loan deal. And Victor Lindelof on a free transfer. So not one but two former Manchester United players potentially heading to Villa Park.
We were just talking off air about some of the odd men out, and we've kind of forgotten about Raheem Sterling, hadn't we, and what was going on with him.
hadn't.
No, he's a drain on your resources, Andy, that's why.
Well, he was one of the big talking points this time last year, because there wasn't much doing until the final hours of the window, and then all of a sudden we found out he was camped out next to Arsenal's training ground, ready to undergo a medical. Chelsea ended up swallowing the vast majority of his wages, much like Villa are going to do with Jadon Sancho, actually, and that deal happened. Didn't work out for him at Arsenal, did it? Didn't really pull up any trees there. But he's certainly someone Chelsea would like to move on. There was talk of Fulham, but they're trying to regress on Kevin, the Brazilian winger from Shakhtar, in a club record deal, and Samuel Chukwueze from Milan as well. So I don't really see where he fits at Fulham. There was talk of West Ham because of his relationship with Graham Potter. Again, that seems to have gone very quiet. And Crystal Palace, the other London club, who've shown some interest. So let's see if anything happens with Sterling between now and 7 o'clock. If not, that's quite an expensive problem for Chelsea.
It depends how much he wants to still play football. If he really wants to play, I mean, the Turkish window's still open.
I don't think he fancies that. I don't think he wants to leave London, ideally. One of the reasons he signed such a long-term deal with Chelsea was because he wanted to come back to London. So it does limit his options. Yeah,
the O's might be looking for someone, but they'll have to pay most of the wages, I would imagine.
Yeah, but Barnett, potentially.
What's happened to him. He was so terrible, wasn't he?
And he's not as old as you think, is he? There's still lots of football left in him, you would imagine.
But you mentioned Igor to Palace there. Brighton, I was thinking about it yesterday. Brighton are amazing. Every year they sell 5 players, mostly to Chelsea. They make a huge profit and they don't miss a beat. I mean, the analytics there must be off the scale. You know, it's incredible, isn't it? I bet they're good at football management.
Alex, we're going to get a lot of this. Alex has just picked up his phone.
Well, I was
a bit of news
I was just going to say on the subject of Brighton, it is going to be a busy day in terms of departures. Matt O'Reilly is off to link up with Roberto De Zerbi at Marseille, which is a little bit of a strange one because he started the season in the first team. Julio Enciso to Strasbourg. Obviously Chelsea's parent club, and Facundo Buonanotte to Chelsea. We expect both those deals to be confirmed today, and Jeremy Sarmiento going out on loan as well. So a lot of their players are leaving, but you're right, they just seem to keep finding ways to regenerate. And actually, it's interesting, Buonanotte, they've been quite adamant because I think Chelsea wanted a buy option in the deal. It's a straight loan. They think he's going to be back at the Amex next season. If he does well at Chelsea, is his head going to get turned? It's an interesting one.
Alex, thank you. We'll see you a bit later on. Alex Crook will be popping in throughout the afternoon. Whatever going, he'll just loom and he'll come straight in and sit down and tell us what's breaking.
I don't know why Chelsea don't change their colours like blue and white stripes.
That'd be nice, come play down on the south coast. Let's have a chat now with our very own Troy Deeney, the former Watford striker. Hi, Troy.
Hi, lads. I'm trying to give you some balance because Crookie's boring you, isn't he?
Oh, you got your Juve shirt on. Are you waiting for the call? They are looking for us. They couldn't get Kolo Muani over the line. Maybe they can bring you in.
I was just thinking at 37, I'm ripe age for the Italian league.
You are. You and Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, you and Jamie Vardy over there. Cremonese is like the wild geese. Be fantastic. Yeah, be brilliant.
That'd be good.
How do players feel about deadline day, Troy, when you're all kind of sitting around in the dressing room and talking about who's going where, who's not going where? Does anybody care?
Oh yeah, they love it. They love it.
Yeah.
I think it's twofold. One, if you're the player who's trying to leave, you're excited, nervous, anxious, all of those emotions. And then if you're like me, been at Watford for a very long time, you're a little bit jealous, for being totally honest, that they're getting the attention as well. Like, well, I'm pretty good. Does no one want to buy me? But yeah, it's fun to watch as well. Seeing all these moves, you start second guessing what teams are going to do and how that impacts you when you play against them. So yeah, transfer deadline day is always huge.
Was there a move that you wanted that didn't come off in your career on deadline day? And was there one that you really didn't fancy touching with a barge pole when the offer came in?
I got offered a couple on deadline day to go like abroad. And I tried to convince my missus to even go to shop today was hard work. So trying to get through my deadline day is hard work. So no, not really. I was always relatively safe, lads, if you get what I mean. Like I was captain, I was at Watford, I was always getting new contracts, so life was pretty good until they kicked me out. So that was about it.
Oh, you can imagine, like, partners of the players. Yeah. Suddenly you say, do you fancy living in Lille? I say, well, the kids started school. We settled them into a new school like 2 weeks ago, or this week they're supposed to start a new school. I mean, it's often the families can be the sort of collateral damage. Obviously, there's benefits because it's a very
I'm sure they're all right, in the 8-bedroom houses with a roof over.
Well, maybe.
Sure they'll get over it.
What about the Nicholas Jackson situation? Have you ever experienced anything like that? It must be. I don't think he will come back.
Nicholas Odom-Wingy.
I think a deal will be done. Yeah, but it would be awkward for him to come back, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be. I just think it's mental. I've always been in that case of a deal's never done until it's done. But this new thing now of everyone posting on private jets that they're going to get the deal done, to me, leaves that area of like, would you really want to? What if? That what if moment to me is scary. And he looks very, very stupid. You just went on to like Peter Odom-Wingy there. That's the perfect one, is that you never want to be in that situation. But I think for him, you can't go back to Chelsea. As a striker, I was number 1 last year. I'm now number 3. You've then sold me. I'm here. Oh, but because the players got injured, you want me to come back and be vested, even though you've told me all year you don't want me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think for him, he has to do the old Mexican standoff. I'm not getting back on the plane. I'll be here until further notice and hope that it just gets done.
It's a 7-year contract, though, so if they don't want to do the deal, he'll have to come back, won't he? He's got no choice.
Yeah, of course. And that's the beauty of it as well, though, isn't it? Sorry to interrupt, lads. He's still got 7 years.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario is I go back and I'm just going to sit on this money for the next 6 years.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
Let's talk about Joao Pedro, your old teammate. I know you had. I heard you on the station a few weeks ago saying you felt he'd be a big success at Chelsea. He's made a pretty decent start, hasn't he?
Unbelievable. I think this is the perfect stepping stone for him.
Yeah.
My concern with Liam Delap when he went was that he missed a step. I felt him going at Ipswich and then making that massive jump to Chelsea. Maybe he just missed that step of, I don't know, a Brighton, a Fulham, somewhere like that. Dare I say, a Man United at this moment. A lot of expectation to drag that team forward. Joao's had that at Brighton. He's done it. He's been the man. He's been the guy they all look to. I know Crookie tried to say that Brighton wouldn't miss him at all when he left. However, it seems to be a little bit different right now. To me, Joao's gone in. He knows when he came into Watford, he knew he wanted to be the main number 9, go to a World Cup. Now, at this moment in time, who else in Brazil going to start? It has to be him. He's got that motivation. He's at a wonderful team, Chelsea. They're all young. They're all of similar ages, similar ilk, probably having the same different conversation, different languages from different people. But it's all like, Mrs. wants a baby. What car should I be buying? Where are we all going to be living? Anyone fancy going out? When you're in that kind of group and in that environment, and then you look around and go, actually, they all want to be superstars. It's a perfect place to thrive, and I think he's going to be excellent. I said it a few weeks ago. I think he scores more than Gyökeres this season.
Well, I was going to ask you about.
I think that's.
Ask you about Gyökeres. I mean,
it depends what week we ask. Last week he was going to score 45.
Yeah.
This brings us on to the point of buying players who are Premier League ready versus buying players who have to adapt to the league, like Wirtz, who've seen he's obviously a brilliant player, but so far he hasn't hit the ground running. Yeah,
and also people don't appreciate just how physically intense it is in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Talk about it, but seeing these top players come over. Like Gyökeres, he scored against Leeds. I don't want to be disparaging Leeds, but he scored 2 against Leeds. He's got to score in those type of games. When they play Wolves, when they play West Ham, I expect him to get 1, 2, even 3 goals in those games. But it's a big games that are going to change for Arsenal. Did you ever think at any point yesterday he was going to score? No. I don't think he's going to score against Forest, and I don't think he's going to score against City the week after. But then he'll get 4 in the next 2 games. Then we'll go, oh, look, 40 goals a season is fantastic. It's just, he's a striker that has to have a lot of chances to score goals. And he's also coming into a league where people are scared of Arsenal. So they back off. And without Saka and without Odegaard in there, now they've got Eze. Weirdly that he didn't start, but that's another conversation. Yeah. But, with these guys, that people will back off and not leave space in behind. And link-up play is not great. And I get called a hater for saying that, but seem to be right so far.
You might score against Forest if Nuno leaves and Ange comes in.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Because of half the back 4 injured at that point. One of the listeners has been in touch watching on YouTube. Tell Troy to put his clock forward. That clock behind you needs to be put forward, Troy. That's your next job.
You know what? I noticed that earlier. Yeah. But again, I sent the missus to the shop. She's got another job to do. Which
well, it's all right for you, Troy. You've got 6 hours and 28 minutes left in the
window. That's true. You've got an extra hour of the window. You can get all your business done late. You can do an Andre Arshavin, can't you? Bring it. A nice one. Cheers, Troy. All the best. Catch up with you soon.
Cheers, lad. See you soon.
There's Troy Deeney there. Oh, Norris has been in touch. I think Norris, you've been sending it to the wrong people, because Norris has got in touch this afternoon and said it's done in black granite, which is durable, cheap, and can carry sentimental value, which can last for centuries under any weather condition without changing or losing value.
What's sent to talkSPORT?
Yeah. So, I mean, I take it he's got talkSPORT in his phone. He gets in touch a lot, and he's obviously quoting on a job. So, Norris, you've sent it to the wrong person. You've sent it to us. So, definitely send that to your customer. You don't want to miss out on the gig. Evertonian getting in touch said we need a right back badly. And Martin in Newmarket says, I don't want Lemons or Martinez. I want Lemons and Martinez. And send those other 2 Mappets to play for Withenshaw under 13s.
Yeah, right.
Okay, fair enough, Martin. Thank you very much. Not a massive fan of Altai and Onana.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs. Monday to Friday afternoons, 1 till 4. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.